really unbelievable what was achieved here. Jack had a dream, obviously had a lot of money as well, which helped. But he had a plan, you know. He decided that Kenny was going to be his man. Kenny decided that Ray Hartford would be integral to that team. What needed, kept Tony Parks here. He was here a long time before any of us, and a long time after as well. So we had the coaching team, we had the core there, we had a nucleus of a good side, like Mark Atkins, who was remained at the football club, and I still to this day say, you know, people raise an eyebrow. Sorry, Mark, but when I tell them he's the best player I've ever played with in midfield, you know, he's a. You know, and I don't think it's right to forget the David Speedies of this world. You know, the guys who actually, a lot of them guys took Blackburn to that promised land. You know, it's a difficult step, and Tony will tell you now how difficult it is to get out of the Championship into the Premier League. And there was a lot of guys who didn't remain at the club for them glory years. But they played their part and set some foundations for us to get to the promised land, and then we just kicked on from there.
When you came up in '92, a lad from down south, what was it like when you arrived in a place like Blackburn?
I remember the first day I drove up here. I was like, I ain't gonna be. I was like, I ain't going to be up here long. Jesus. 7 years later, I was still here. And, you know, a few ups and downs along the way, but just a magnificent football club for me, a place what I call home. Yes, I played for a giant football club in Tottenham afterwards, but, you know, you can't take away the glory what we had and the camaraderie amongst the group what we had. There was not them and us. It wasn't coaching staff, directors and players. It was a togetherness throughout the group, and I think that's what galvanised us to achieve what we did.
He made you captain when Kevin Moran decided to retire, didn't he? But I think that dressing room was full of leaders, wasn't it? The likes of Alan Shearer, Colin Hendry. Could he have picked anybody in that dressing room?
No. Could have done. Next question. No, of course he could. I mean, you've said them yourself, and everyone knows themselves. There's so many leaders. I mean, Colin, what a man mountain that kid was. I mean, he was just absolutely put his body on the line every single day in training and on match days. I mean, Shearer, we know what a legend he was as a goal scorer, but as a leader and a bully. No one could bully him. You know, Tony probably played against him many times and tried his best to bully him, but, you know, it was hard to achieve that. You know, he had so many leaders around. David Batty, you know, in his own right there. He played his own game, but he was a great player. You know what he did. We had so many guys with good characters, and the dressing room was very harsh. It was a dressing room where if things weren't going well, the bad news didn't always have to come from Kenny or Ray or Tony. We would tell players, and we would get pulled apart on a weekly, daily basis, because we wanted to make each other better, and we felt if there was bad news to be said, we had to say it.
But just tell us about Anfield. How nervy was that dressing room beforehand?
Before we have to go back one. I mean, you reminded me there. That was a Tim Flowers night, the Newcastle game. That's bottle. The Anfield one was, you know, being so ahead for so many months, and then the lead was dwindling away. You know, you just think, you know, I've dreamt of this all my life. You know, we got so close to it. We finished fourth, and then we finished second, and obviously we went one step further. But for that to be ripped away from you on the last day was almost unbearable, and it was almost just a sense of relief that we got over the line. But we deserved to. You know, the season's not won on the last day of the season. It's won over a period of a lot of games during the season, and the best team always wins the league. And we were the best team.